Greetings, all greetings. That's the original people from the Philippines, the original Filipino, before the Spanish came. The only mixture was between the African and the Malay, which were like Indonesia, Malaysia, and the indigenous Australian. It's pretty much all gone now. Pushed to the side. But as Africa rises, so will they rise again. But you see the position that Africa is in today, and it might appear hopeless. I talk about Africa showing the areas where change has to be made to improve its stature, its strength, and its ability to do for itself the things that has to be done. But one of the things that is happening is like almost in the shadows, is that even though Russia has all the resources that it needs, I'm talking about natural resources. Russia doesn't need to import anything if it's going to build it itself. It's got oil, gas, gold, silver, platinum, uranium, everything. Same thing as Africa. But Africa, the leadership, Russia had to fight a war lose a lot of people against the European, where Africans would rather starve themselves and murder each other for the European and keep Africa from developing. The mindset is different. And that's what has to be changed, that mindset. But regardless of all that Russia has, it sees the reality that even if it is free, that its freedom is still in the balance, that his freedom can be easily lost if Africa is not free. China sees the same thing. India sees the same thing. All the BRICS nations are on the same page. They know that without Africa having a say in its development and its building, its strength, and control over its land, that their own freedom is at stake. And so while they are building their own, they are helping Africa. People look at it as though they're taking resources from Africa. The Chinese are, the Indians are. Yes, they have to do that because that's all Africa has besides its manpower to trade for building, that building process. Whereas the Caucasian, the European, is in there to take the resources, all of it, the manpower, and the natural resources from the ground, and leave the rest of Africa in poverty. And they don't see any, they have fun with it. They talk to each other, making jokes. Most of you, if you didn't see my video about this man, Joseph Borrell from the EU, and even his successor, laughing about the resources that they're taking from Africa. They joke about it. It's a regular, topic of entertainment. Even the U.S. Congress is in on the act. You got people in the Congress saying, hey, we have to keep Africa by any means necessary. But the funny thing is that they can't. Because two wars, well, actually there are more than two because they're fighting in Africa also. You just don't hear about it. You're just not hearing about U.S. soldiers fighting and dying in Africa. But they are. But Ukraine, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Somalia, they're dying there. But it's not the death of the soldiers as much as the cost of the war. The cost, what it's costing them to try to maintain rulership. And when the cost rises, you can't make enough weapons to defend Ukraine and Israel, but try to keep the Somalis, the Yemenis, the Ethiopians from breaking free. You can't keep the Houthis from attacking ships. You got to move the ships away, so far away from the land that you can't just lob a couple of big guns in there, ship-to-shore guns. So the $1 million missiles is costing $1 billion a day is being spent, and that's not coming from savings like the Chinese or the Russians have. It's coming from borrowed money. So if the war ends today, When the factories that are making those weapons go silent, people in America who are making the weapons, they're going to lose their jobs. And this thing goes downline. I mean, from the guy making the screws to go into those weapons to the one making the electronics and the programming. And then the people who depend on them in the stores that they shop at. That's what's about to happen. And then the price of everything that's being inflated now because of food. You don't see the price of food going down. And it's going to keep on going up. So America has come to the point where affordability, living, the cost of living is becoming too much. Africans have the opportunity to get out from underneath that easily. Just look at Burkina Faso and how they're moving. And when you show that you want to do something, the other people who are there, as soon as you make your move, they come in and say, hey, okay, what do you need? Let us know what you need. Leader of Burkina Faso went to Russia and said, we need a nuclear plant. Russia said, okay, no problem. You're going to have it. We need weapons to get rid of these people that France and UAE put in the country to kill our people. Okay, you have it. So they see that they have to help Africa, otherwise their freedom also is in a precarious position, and they're doing it. That's how the situation is unfolding. I hope you are looking at it carefully and planning for it. There's going to be a mad rush out the door when things go downhill in America. I don't say if, when. They already started going downhill. But the American people are so enamored with this presidential election that they're not seeing what's going on. They're experiencing it, and if you ask them about the problems they're facing, they can tell you, but they're not paying attention to other things as much as they should. You have the opportunity to, as an African, because this is the life you had. It's like black people in America been warning the Caucasian people beside them for the longest time, and they were telling them, stop complaining, and you got to pull yourself up by your own bootstrap. And now these people are facing the same problem black people have, because their fellow Caucasian was practicing on black people how to do to them later. They thought that they fellow Caucasian was looking out for their interests. Yeah, they were, until the fire came to their feet, and now they're getting dropped. Same thing with the African leaders now. When the fire comes and they get dropped, guess what's going to happen? All those Africans overseas who are going to come back, they're not coming back with the same mindset as their fathers in the continent, their fathers in Africa. No, they coming back with a mindset that say, you know what, things got to change here. Even Africans, I mean, so many Africans and standing up now say, you know what? Leaders gotta go. If y'all want to kill me, go ahead and kill me. But I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna fight you. So the fire is coming. If you are a diasporan going to Africa, those are people you gotta talk to. The people who are standing up now against all the old leadership. Those are the people you gotta talk to. Like I said, these Filipinos, the original Filipinos, the people from Australia that their land was taken, hey, all that's gonna change. You can be a part of it if you're a black American. When I say black American now, I'm not just talking from North America. I'm talking about Canada, the Caribbean, South America. All that is the Americas. So you are going to have a big say because you have the education and the money, the resources that are like the foundation. That's the foundation, the resource to begin something, to bring a factory into the neighborhood that's going to build those items that other Africans need and the rest of the world need. To build something that you can trade with China and Russia and India for what they have. I hope you get what I'm saying. Listen to it. The parts you don't like, discard. The parts that you can work with, use it. Because I'm telling you, Lebanese that hear this gonna say, "Ooh, that guy makes sense." The Iranians, the Turks, anybody who listens to me, they're already thinking about what I'm talking about. Some are already doing it. You have to get involved. Peace. The mountains of Luzon. Right under the mountain. Food. People not wasting their land. They're growing fruit trees, rice, everything that's needed. Everybody can't be a computer technician and write code. People need food. You see how many millionaires are buying land in America, going into agriculture? That ought to tell you something. All right, peace. Have a great day wherever you are.